Welcome back to another YouTube video. So I don't know about you guys, if you have a camper van set up, I don't know where your electricity is and where your 12-volt cigarette lighters are, but mine are right in the way under the bed. Every time I go to put something under this bed, I end up knocking into all of this setup here and accidentally disconnecting things, disconnecting the fridge, disconnecting the lights, the fans, and I was absolutely sick of it. So the first thing I wanted to do was give the fridge its own independent 12-volt lead to the battery. So I decided to drill a big hole here, and you can see I royally messed it up, which was an absolute nightmare. So what I decided to do was switch the game up, and my battery monitor, which was just kind of lay about in the cupboards, and I also wanted to fit that onto this wall. I decided to put that where I just drilled a huge hole and ruined all of the paint on my cupboard wall. So what I did is got my battery monitor and then traced around on the cupboard with a pen. Probably should have used a pencil, but it's all good. You know, when you're working with a master craftsmanship person like myself, then you can get away with a pen. So the battery monitor is now being forced to be put there, and to be honest with you, you'll see later on in the video that turned out to be a bit of a nightmare. But I went back to my original job, which was to use the hole saw here to drill a hole out so that I could put a 12-volt connector into the wall there, and that meant that the fridge would have its own independent connection to the battery. So I made a much better job of this one. I was a little bit happier with that. So the reason I decided to do this job in the first place was that I noticed when we were camping and traveling that when I would run the fridge and the compressor would kick in, and we also had the television going and we had some of the lights on, as soon as the fridge compressor would kick in, the lights on the TV would start flickering, the LEDs would start flickering. It looked like something out of a bloody horror movie, to be honest with you. And I think what I realized with my very limited Sparky knowledge, by the way, that is a fuse as well. So this new connection has a fuse on the positive wire, which means it's a little bit safer. But what I realized was that I was running everything, like almost my entire electrical setup, off one set of wiring, which was just like crocodile clips onto the battery at the back of the van, and then a long extension cable, and then like an extendable, as you saw in the start of the video, like cigarette socket where I was just plugging everything into. And I'm sure if there's any Sparkies watching this, you know you're supposed to separate the power. So I realized that it would probably be a good idea to give the fridge its own independent socket, which is what you're looking at right there. I think I did a pretty good job. So the next part of the video is going to be me attempting to fix the absolute mess up that I made previously. So I don't have a multi-tool with me, so you can see what I did is I bought this thing, I believe it's called a compass saw. It was like $10. It looks pretty cool. It looks like a little gun as well. Why not? I decided to try and cut out the battery monitor slot with this compass saw. Now again, it was like $10, a really cheap tool, but you can see that it was very difficult to cut into this, and this is only quite thin plywood, but I will also say that it did the job. So we didn't need a fancy multi-tool. We used a little hand saw. It was the only saw I could use, which was going to be able to kind of get in that area and actually cut the cupboard. So I cut it all with the compass saw, pulled it out, and you can see it looks like absolute crap, but we spent the next 10 minutes or so fixing it up, and then bish bash bosh, what do you know, the battery monitor is installed in the wall next to the 12-volt charger that we put in as well. It's working. And out of interest, if you are wondering what battery monitor that is, it's a Renogy battery monitor. If you watch my entire YouTube campervan build setup, you'll see the battery monitor, I believe, being installed in that. But if you have any questions, please let me know down below. And we now come to the most exciting part of any job, and that is the cleanup. We've got the 12-volt vacuum. We've got the 12-volt vacuum, in fact, plugged into the brand new 12-volt port that I installed on the wall just now. How great is that? So we're cleaning up, we're having a great time. If you have any questions, please let me know down below, and see ya.